You are a good man most of the time.
It says it's 57 degrees in Ames. I don't believe it.
Yeah, where is,
That's why I always ask where they meant to be there.
I want your pen.
You want me to hold her?
No. should be
When I was a kid, we were taught to hold their head to the other side so they couldn't bite us.
Ah,
Because some of the early lesson horses that I rode would have bitten you. So we turned their head away from us so that they would drift into us and wouldn't bite us. His left leg looked like it's got less filling than the right one.
yeah.
But yeah. It's hard to tell with all the hair, but that's the way it looks. He looks like he's walking comfortably. You know, for a while there, he used to walk kind of stubby in front, but he's kind of picking him up and putting him down like they should. And I notice he's not moving his shoes at the moment. But he had those wooden things on his feet. Yeah, yeah.
No, thank God.
He got rid of his claws.
Boy,
Gotta clear your pipes.
ready? Because we're gonna work a little bit today, okay? You got that in your hand?
Has he already walked somewhere, or just?
No.
No, you gotta give him time to warm
Yeah,
up then.
okay, yeah. I'm gonna go the other way.
I'm a big let it walk a long time fan.
Yeah.
I had a German coach back in 2012 that made us walk 20 minutes. And this was the horses coming in out of pasture. But it didn't take. Yeah. Yeah. Just as long as they get time to warm up, because he moves around in his pen, but it's not like being out a 10-acre field. The two that Wilson and I event have this huge hill they climb up. They go disappear way up into the forest. But even so, we have to warm them up, because it's not the same as working. You need to be careful that you're not sitting to the right. You tend to sit a little bit to the right, and then his body goes to the right, and that's going to be harder on his right leg. So you need this. Which is your bad hip? Oh, you have two hip replacements. And they still hurt? Really? God. Oh, yeah. My mom had both hips replaced with titanium. And she said they never hurt again, and she died at 89. We could have still raced her. Her brain wasn't very good, but we could have raced her until she was so sound. She needed them done long before she got them done, but she didn't want to get it done. They're going to have to replace every 10 years. And
Yeah.
the titanium really worked.
Okay. Well, then 15, and I do have the titanium, so,
Ah,
you know, if it doesn't get any worse than it is, it's fine.
we can live with it.
I can live with it.
Just let him walk. Doesn't have to do anything else. Wrap your inside leg under him when he turns so that he doesn't turn onto his forehand. When he goes left, he's like, wow, I can make that turn. That's a good boy. I like him to do turns like that where he's very deliberate and moving each leg. Because if he's losing hind legs, that can be stifles. But the stifles may be tired from holding the leg together where the ligaments were cut. I've never studied what they do to annular ligaments, and I don't know whether they just completely remove a piece of it or what they do. Yeah. But they're obviously not connecting two bones together at that point. Huh. It is a minor ligament, but it's not minor when it's sore.
Right, exactly.
Good boy. It looks like you're being very cooperative, and when you made your turns come out evenly like that, it looked really good. When he was diving the left turn, it's like, don't go down in a heap. But when you make nice, even sweeping turns like that, that looks good.
Yeah.
Remember, not too far back the leg. The go button's right at the girth.
Okay.
But the other problem is when you put your leg back too far, you lean forward. And that's not good because it puts the saddle onto his shoulders, and that could make him stumble.
Got it.
So the right leg, when you're using it as a pivot point, turn around, just leave it forward. Because when you put it back, it tells him to swing his butt out.
Oh,
Okay, they move it, and so if we're just moving the midsection of the shoulders, the leg aid's right there.
got it.
There you go.
Yeah, it moves the automatically then.
Yeah, it took off on you. Your right leg. Good boy.
Hi, Marcy.
Hello.
See? I can't be.
You don't scare me in the mirror like that. Remember, keep the stirrup on the ball of your foot. Let your heel hang down. There you go. You have kind of a little skinny boot on. We don't want to get caught in the stirrup. You know, the wind's blowing a bit out there. Good boy. So I can give you a little better walk than that. Doesn't need to change to whatever the next gear is, but he can walk. That's good. I want him to walk enough so he has to reach and stretch, kind of loosen everything up. Since we know he has some structures that don't work so good. Is it always the same side that he waffles on?
No.
No, okay. So it's either hind leg.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep the heel stretched down, the toe up. I don't want your foot to go through the stirrup. Also, it brings your heel up into his belly, whether you mean to talk to him or not. That's a good boy. Let your hand a little forward, because you're there. You just slightly had a tug on his face. It wasn't much, but just a little tweak, which is enough to back him off. Yeah, exactly. As with this setup, you know, we're not expected to ride on contact. It's a loose rein arrangement.
Yes.
And basically, the leather fobs make the connection for you, or that's what John Lyons told me. It does, those leather fobs do help steady the rein, which is a good idea for people that are trying to get it right. Oh, does he leg yield? Well, I think it's good to do that kind of thing as you warm up.
A little faster.
There. Ah, see that's a good way to warm him up because it gets more leg swing and more leg engagement.
Okay.
We're stretching all the structures before he has to actually use them. So take your right leg off if you're using your left one. Good boy. There we go. There we go. Good. Yeah, that's good. Very good for him to go sideways like that and get the lateral structures warmed up.
Get something here instead of looking here.
Yeah. And then move him off your leg. Up, 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 up. That's it. And then I would normally turn in the direction, if I'm yielding from my left leg, I would then make a left turn. If I'm yielding from the right leg, I would then make a right turn. Because otherwise you have him a little unbalanced for the turn. And I don't want to unbalance his horse unless I have to. There you go. So now it's a right leg yield. Good. And he made himself into a left turn, so that was okay. As long as he understands where we're going. Yeah. Good lad. Look at that. You're actually getting some crossing. That was nice. And it makes him step a little more sparky. And it loosens up a lot of structures. You can see a lot of motion in those hind legs now. There's a lot more motion in the hind leg than when we started. That's good. He's kind of going forward on his own. When you do a little lateral stuff, it activates him. Then he's like, okay, I'll go. Good boy. You're doing a good job sitting still. It looks like his weight is down nicely.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't look like the blob that ate Manhattan.
I just said to Kathy Gibbs this morning, I think he's I think he's getting fat again. I didn't know.
Oh, he doesn't look it to me, but I haven't seen him since August.
Now, yeah.
He looks good.
He looks good, okay.
Yeah.
For winter anyway. Okay, now, he just, to me right now, even to get him to move out at what I'm doing, he seems heavy to me.
Uh-huh.
He seems heavy to me. I feel like a drag.
Yeah, like he can't quite push.
Yep.
Well, we can let him go more forward now.
Okay. Okay, move on.
And maybe it's hard for him, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I
know
mean,
that.
he's still got good thigh and gaskin muscles. And his coordination is good in the leg yields. If you wanna go more forward, go ahead. I think he's done enough walk warm up. Because it used to be you push the button and he shot out.
Tuba player shooting out their own.
He doesn't look like his front feet are bothering him. So you can let him go ahead and do the next gear.
Okay. Back to the rough. Look easy. Good. You can go. I'll give you the ring blade, but I don't want that. Pay attention to me.
He wants it more comfortable
Yeah,
here.
I do. More like it.
There. What he's wanting to do is a little bit of a trot. I mean, you want him to gait, right? Yeah. That's okay. You can take a little more rein. Yeah, that was that he didn't pick the leg up quite enough, so as he came through, he stubbed his toe.
Okay.
So wasn't actually a stifle slip. Didn't pick the foot up enough, and so it caught.
Okay.
But it was nowhere near falling down.
No, and those are they're a little more dramatic than that, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm feeling on outside. Oh, buddy.
Well, because he's an old man. He's trying to travel with as little ground clearance as possible. And then what's happened is he runs into a little hummock in the ground, and it grabs his leg. That's a good boy. And the one thing about the gaited horses is their gait is ground sweeping. And so if you get a lumpy spot, they can easily catch a toe.
So you're saying a trip is different than a slip?
Yeah, he's because he doesn't come up that high, he'll hit a hump every once
I
in a
see.
while.
With his front feet?
What's that?
With his front or back feet?
It was a hind foot.
Oh, I see.
It came through, but he hadn't lifted it quite
I
enough, so he
see.
stubbed the toe.
Uh-huh.
If you watch his hind feet, particularly the right one, there's not a lot of ground clearance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like the front ones aren't kicking up dirt, but the back ones are.
Let's get a little more forward.
So like if you're out working in the field, you know, the little lumpies, you'll hit a little lumpy. And he only has so much ground clear. That's quite usable. Quite usable. Yep, he is. I think he starts up and he's like, I don't know what works and what doesn't. So you give him time to get organized, because he's way more organized behind now.
Okay.
I think he has to deal every day with, like I get up and say, I wonder what's gonna work today.
Okay.
And I think he has the same issue.
Excellent.
And then once he gets going, if I was gonna go ride outdoors, I think I'd warm up in here first. Because this is easier for him. And you can see his hind feet kicking up dirt. He doesn't pick them up very high. You're sitting to the right, which is why he's falling right. He will go toward wherever your weight is, because the nature of horses, it wants to stay under the load.
That makes sense.
So now he's got his, whatever that gear is called, jogging along pretty well. But it took him a little bit to get going. First of all, he's stiff. He knows it might hurt. So I think if you want to go out and ride, I would warm up in here, get it warmed up,
Okay.
or go out and do your walk, come back in here and drive a little, or wriggle a little before you go, so that he finds out that I'm okay.
Yeah, it has. Right now, he's falling into it now.
Yes.
You know, but it's taken 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I think it does, because he's old and he's a little sore. And he's a smart old fox. He doesn't want to hurt himself. So he starts out very cautious. Now I can see his hocks and his stifles lifting. And it's much better when you sit in the middle.
Okay.
You notice he's starting to get his neck carriage where it belongs. He does that thing where he kind of reaches.
Yes.
And he wasn't carrying his neck and looking fancy. Now he is. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
That's fine.
Good boy. Now keep your hand near the middle. If your hands get out to the side too much, you can see them. I see him looking back at you. And, you know, Mama taught him, watch out for cougars in the tree. Your hand becomes whatever's coming out of the tree. Good boy. Good boy. So that's pretty even. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Well, he's got enough purposeful wiggling done, whatever hell Gary does,
Yeah.
that he's now comfortable behind. He's organized. You know, and he's lost some muscle, which everybody does with this problem. And so he's having to kind of reconfigure what he does. Good lad. But that's a much longer step than we started with. That was a good turn. You gave him enough space to organize his parts, because I saw him have a moment of, uh-oh, and then he was fine. And you can see little ruts that he makes around the ring.
Yeah.
Good boy. It takes him a minute to get the balance such that he carries his neck up where he can work. Because he's always worked kind of high-headed. When he gets his head too low, he's like, I can't operate this thing. Ooh, thank you. Drugs. Drugs. Good boy. Yep. Good. Again, you made a very nice turn. Good lad. Very smooth.
Well, I'm so glad that you're not seeing anything.
I see nothing. Nothing except a little lack of coordination from lack of physical strength.
Okay.
Once he got it organized, he's like, I got this thing moving. He put the plugs in the right place, and I can tell he thinks it's hard work because he's breathing,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and he's not hairy.
Yeah. And I don't ride him hard anymore, honestly. I mean, I just ride maybe half an hour to 40 minutes.
Yep.
I take him up to the track a lot of times and do.
The track is probably pretty good for him.
Yes.
Although he could hit a lump out there, and you know, like he did here. That was just he was coming through with the hind leg. He didn't pick it up quite high enough, and the toe stubbed, and it
Okay.
shot the leg back. It wasn't a slip. It
Okay.
wasn't something that would fall down.
Okay.
I'm not saying he won't do that,
Right.
but that move was not. That was just he didn't
That was
come
just
through
the
quite
toe
high enough, and he caught the toe in it. And then he went, for good
Okay,
reason.
that's real good. That's, because after when I saw the fall yesterday, and it all happened so fast, then my concern was, man, is this gonna happen to me when I'm kind of
That's not going to be pretty when Mom's on board.
Yeah, that's all. Because I'm slow, I am really slow at doing anything.
You're right.
Yeah, okay.
You don't leap around very well.
Yeah, okay, that's a walk on? No, you're gonna walk
But you
on.
notice he's got his breath back already.
Yeah, he does. Okay. Good. All right, now we're gonna work a little more. Are you worked out?
And actually, I think the length of his toes is good. I'm not bothered with his shoeing. Although he squats and then he goes. That looks like a nice place to sit. Yeah. But there's lots of activity in his hind legs, and he's got his lift the front leg. When he gets his neck set up a little high, that's his lift the front legs motion. Good boy.
So should I take the front end down a little bit?
No, I'm liking it.
Okay.
I'm liking it. He's adjusting
Okay.
for what we're asking.
Okay.
The stride's gotten longer. The stride's gotten smoother. Step on your left side. The bump has gotten out of it. So he's doing a really good job making his body work for the task you're asking of him.
Right now, I'm not feeling the drag.
No, he's not dragging at all.
I mean, when I say drag, you know what I meant. He just felt like I.
He felt dull, like he couldn't get forward.
He did.
He doesn't look dull now.
Good.
He's happy to go forward. And he's very organized.
Okay.
That's a good boy. But he's done a lot of adjusting his body in the last 15 to 20 minutes.
He has.
He's really changing, but I think it's good for him to do this level of work.
Okay.
He looks perfectly comfortable, and I see him adjusting himself in many places to make himself able to go. Like right there where he started off, you could see him decide which gear to do that was going to work. If he wants a canter, it's okay with me. Yep, let him pick it. Good boy. Just sit in the middle. Good. Ugh.
Should I maintain the canter? How-
You can ask him to.
Okay.
It didn't look like it had a problem,
Okay.
but I really need you to sit in the middle. Because you get sitting to the right, and I think, my capsize. Yeah, you are shifting to the right. And my thought is your right hip is worse than your left one. You're not the first set of bad hips I've taught. And the person always goes to straighten the bad hip, which means they sit on it, because the other leg comes up. But if you sit over on your left leg, you might not like where your right one goes. Good. Sit in the middle. Ah, good job. Good job, good job. Not too many spins. You were sitting nice in the middle that time. Big difference. Because when you sit in the middle, it allows when you sit to the right, it allows your right hip to be straight, which is your nose where they want them. Like no 90 degrees, and you sit on. Hey, good boy. The right lead is more comfortable, which is very interesting. And you know why? Because the left leg initiates the right lead. And so that's why he's more happy to canter right than he is left.
Yes, he is.
I'd say he has a nice canter.
Okay, that's real good.
And you were sitting in the middle, so he didn't have to compensate by cutting in.
I did, and you know what? That was work on me.
Yes.
Good, I mean, the brain control habit.
Right. Well, and everybody has habits. You saw Diane's lesson. He said, now I'm going to go, by God. Good boy. It's a little harder for him, but he's doing it. Yep, good. And you're sitting in the middle. What a different thing. When you sit in the middle, he doesn't cut in or out. You have to teach a little tiny four-year-old on a 16-hand Belgian Arab cross. Huge tank of a mare. And people come and say, that's really nice, but how can that little child have any control over that big horse? I say to Ethan, jump on your left stirrup. The horse would come across the ring.
Yeah.
Now jump on your right stirrup. The horse goes the other way.
Weight the stirrup.
I said, that's how Ethan controls this horse. All with his weight. But he's only a little bitty kid, and that's a huge horse. I said, yeah, but you can control it with his weight. Where he sits is how that horse goes. Good boy, Kramer. I think he likes the canter. So if you don't sit in the middle, horse goes sideways. The thing that never surprised him, I thought was fabulous, this kid knew right from left.
That's right. A lot
That's
of people-
not always the
adults
case.
don't, yeah.
You never made a mistake. When I said left leg, you went left. Good boy.
Yeah. Come on now. I used to, a long time ago, I was running break kick,
Yeah.
and these days I kind of,
Well, I'm sort of two minds. Like, I like him to keep going. I think he's actually enjoying the canter because he volunteered it. But I don't know where his get tired point is.
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and I don't see it at all. But when you tell me he fell down, I have to wonder. He's got good muscle on his thigh and gaskin still, and good muscle on his croup. He's much cuter when he's not so fat, too. Now he's got Jetta sits at takeoff. Good boy. Careful with your right hand. Very nice. Very nice. And you're really being good about trying to sit in the middle. That's amazing. Yeah, if you take up on your right hand, it breaks up the right lead. And so he,
I did.
yeah, you did. You took up at your right hand at the door and he broke. Because you know, the inside legs are leading and they're in front.
Right.
And if the inside rein pulls, it breaks the inside legs.
Got it.
And his canter is, I call it a minimalist canter. It's a very nice canter. But there's not a lot of leap and jump. So if you break up the inside lead, it comes apart. And I don't see him getting tired, but you just have to feel if he starts to fade, because he looks fine.
Okay.
But you're having fun, who knows? Careful with the left hand. Put it down where it belongs. Leave it there. You can use the outside rein all you want. That's a little harder for him. So keep your left turns open. Use your outside rein. There. Better. 'Cause your outside rein reminds him to come back to his outside leg.
Got it.
Yeah, good boy. If he tries to cut in, he runs out of power right hind. Very good. Don't lean. Good boy. That was very nice. So keep the outside rein for canter. It will support the outside leg, help it do its job, and keep him from turning in. And that is always, most of what we have to do is counter instinctive.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. No,
That's my job, teaching people to ride. First of all, is getting rid of all the things you instinctively do, and then finding new ones.
It's good.
He did a good job. Probably more canter than he's done in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I didn't see him getting tired, but I don't want to push it either.
Yeah. We'll do one more trot here around. Okay, you ready? There you go.
It's amazing the difference when he's not hairy. Because he sustains the work well, and you can see his body. I don't imagine they let him eat much.
He has all the hay.
No.
No grain.
You must eat just plain first cutting hay. Now that.
It's all alfalfa.
Alfalfa is what he should eat. People were telling me about friends of theirs that raise Morgans, and Morgan's founder out in Colorado, and they grow alfalfa, but they can't feed it to them. Now you can feed alfalfa to these things.
Yeah.
It's the best hay for them
Yeah.
because it's low sugar.
Right. Yeah, we've done
These
our
people are
research and-
paying someone to take their alfalfa away.
Oh my gosh.
They have these fabulous alfalfa fields, and they pay somebody to take it away, and they get, year-old first cut from somewhere. But they could feed them alfalfa.
Doing good? You doing okay? A little bit more, buddy?
He
Huh?
seems fine.
Yep, he does. He really does. Much more loose
He's very bright-eyed.
than Bird.
Yeah, well, I think do your lateral work when you start up the day, because it gets him more forward, it gets him more engaged, and it engages his mind, because he gets real bright-eyed and cheery when you do that. Then he's ready to work.
Okay.
And I'm not seeing him uncomfortable. He's a tiny bit disorganized once in a while, but I think that's good.
Comes to the rider.
Well, it doesn't hurt that the rider's not straight. Doesn't help the rider's not really straight. But the legs are working. Come on, lad. The legs are working, and I see a lot of push in his thighs and Gaskins. Good thing you're working, otherwise he's going to explode with all his fart stuck in there. That's a good boy. If he has to canter, it's okay with me. Yes, it was. Don't mess with your inside hand. Ah, that's it. What a nice little rocking chick.
Come on, you go. Come on.
Good boy. I probably wouldn't make that turn too often. That was his choice, but his brain doesn't always remember that his right hind's a little funky. I don't see him unsound at all. I'm sure you've walked a million miles to get him here. Now, outside rein. Outside rein. Give up the inside. Outside rein. Outside rein. Outside rein. Beautiful. How about that, huh?
Yes.
He didn't turn in. He got out here on the edge in the least steep footing. He said, hell, I can do that. Good boy. Good boy. Look how much straighter you're sitting. Wowza. Wowza. When I want outside rein, I mean bring it back. Don't stick it out.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, because out unbalances you again.
It does.
So we
Just back to the elbow.
back to the elbow,
Got it.
back as you need it, or shorten it. And we talk about centered riding. That's about keeping you centered.
Yeah.
Your personal center is your belly button. So
Yep.
everything comes in.
That's right. Yep.
He's not even breathing badly.
Yeah, many times in these clinics in the past, trainers always said to all of us, back, not out, and back,
Out
not
doesn't do anything
up.
but ounce.
Right.
And up doesn't do anything but mess around with his
And it
mouth.
slows them down.
Straight back says, come to mama.
Yeah. Good boy, that was good.
And it's a motion.
Okay.
He's got a good trim on because he's
It
shod for he has an upright shoulder and upright passage.
Okay.
And he's trimmed to match it.
That's just one.
Those wide turns are much
Is this the
easier
same guy?
for him. It's his apprentice, or his
Yeah.
co
I'm happy with his trim job.
Not my guy.
Because these
yeah.
feet have had some bad experiences and they really
Right.
don't show.
No, he's got a good trim now.
He's got a good trimmer now. And you notice he's landing plop, right on his foot. And I might roll off the toe a tiny bit, but I don't think much.
Okay.
Because I don't know where his white line is.
Yeah.
So the
Watch he
wide-
doesn't step on the end of your drag line
Yeah,
there.
the wide turns are much easier for him than the sharp turns.
Oh, yeah.
like,
He should do, there's no reason for him to do sharp turns. He's not moving cattle.
Especially at the canter.
And his wide turn, the other thing is in this ring, when you do a wide turn, you get out to the outside and the footing's more shallow. See, now we woke the damn whole thing up. Yeah, he thinks he's McGill Gorilla now.
Yeah, he does.
I bet he hasn't been this good in a while. It's pretty special. Just tell my mama to sit in the middle, damn it. I'd shorten your right stirrup, but A, I'm afraid it'll hurt your hip, and B, I'm afraid it'll make you step on it worse. Yeah, I think it's longer. I don't want to put money on it, but I think it is. Oh, what a good boy. He really enjoys that. This is what a gaited horse is supposed to do. It's supposed to have a lovely, lovely canter. And some of them,
Come on, let's go back.
that Rocky that I trained, that the woman said, I bought you a project. I said, I don't need a damn project. She said, I bought you a Rocky. God, he was gorgeous. See, he looked like this, but he stood 16 hands. He still does. And she said, he's only full registered. You have to train him so you can make a video of all his gaits. Right. To get him registered. So she gave me a book and the horse and said, here, make him do all those things and a video of gaits, and then we'll get him registered. So I got it to happen. By God, he got registered. And then she told me what the issue was. They were looking to put size back in the breed. His mother was a Tennessee Walker.
Oh,
No wonder they had trouble with the gaits. It was a different breed of cat.
absolutely.
And I got him all the Rocky gaits. He's 21 now, still teaching people to canter. The reason I stuck with it because he had the most beautiful teacup canter. I thought, well, there's a use for this horse. And
Okay.
the woman that owned him used him to teach little kids to canter forever. Like what this horse does.
Yeah. We used to canter a lot.
Sancho.
And we used to canter a lot.
Yeah.
Everywhere, because it was so comfortable, we could,
Yeah.
and so forth. But,
And he's very careful with his feet. I like to watch him at canter
Okay.
because every step. So other than the one scuff where it caught a toe,
yeah.
I think this is very good footing for him too, because this footing always gives him sole support in his feet.
Ah,
Because his
Oh,
hoof,
yes.
hoof wall goes down through,
Right.
so he's constantly getting pressure on the plantar cushion to make circulation,
okay.
which is one of the things these old boys with the foundry feet need. Can you get off of there?
Yeah, I can get off, and then the question, next, real quick, before the end of my hour here. Margot Hattery brought an English saddle, I think it is, a dressage saddle.
Uh-huh.
I might just bring it in here real quick.
Sure.
Have you look at it?
I
Margot's the
didn't.
one that old Smoky?
Yeah, smoky
I
salad.
never could figure why that beautiful red horse was called Smoky. Smoky's usually grueler or gray or something.
Let me just stretch my legs a
Yeah,
minute.
Granny's gotta get her legs organized here.
Yeah, there, just, ooh, that feels good.
But you know, that's the other thing about this nice horse. He doesn't care how long it takes you to get on or how long it takes you to get off.
That's the truth.
He says, now you better love on me.
Oh,
What a good boy. That was a good day's work, huh? Yeah, and
appreciate it.
he used a good amount of time.
Yeah.
That's great.
He did.
He did a full 40 minutes.
I am real pleased. I was worried. I didn't know what to expect after yesterday.
No, he looked super today. But someone's gotta be around to yell at you to not lean to the right.
Yeah, and believe me, I will work on that.
Now you'll work on that. And what it is, I understand it. Because, see, if you sit right, your right hip straightens.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And instinct makes you do it. Because anybody has bad hip, I have no guy I teach at home has only one bad hip. And there's nothing wrong with the left leg, she can step on all day long.
Right.
But the right hip just keeps saying, oh, please straighten me. It's like, well, you know, you do surgery.
I've gotten into
When you
that
do surgery,
habit.
they tell you no 90 degrees.
Yeah.
You're right.
They
There's a
do.
place you can't go then. What a good boy.
Very good.
He probably can't even have treats, can he? Because it's all sugar.
No.
You know what he could eat is celery. If he will eat
Yeah,
it.
that's true. I haven't tried the celery on him.
Well,
Yeah,
a
but
couple
I
of freedom
might.
mares, Fjord mares I used to teach.
Yeah.
And they were kind of old founder chronics, and the head vet at our big vet clinic said, all right, there's some reason all my work with these mares isn't working. And I said, well, how about the fact that they graze in the drainage ditches, which is most less grass on the farm? And he said, nobody told me that. I said, I should tell you another secret. Arthur feels really bad for them. They get a pound of carrots breakfast and supper. He said, that's
Pure
enough to
sugar.
kill them.
Pure sugar.
And
Yeah.
he said, get them a bag of celery. So he'd take a bag of celery, chop it up. They ate it fine. They thought it was candy. He said, there's nothing but water and fiber in there. But he might eat celery as a
I
treat.
am going to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he acts like you owe him something right now. That's what he.
Yeah. Some pretty big
She makes special
scratches
brownies
and
for
nothing
him
else.
without
Flax
sugar.
seeds.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
flaxseed.
Yeah, flax is good for him.
Yeah.
Flax is even good for the feet on these
I
characters.
can hold this on me if you like.
I love when you keep old horses working and happy.
Excuse me?
Like when he died without the attention.
Yeah,
He loves the attention.
He is a lover.
he's a really nice horse.
Did a good job today, buddy.
Most of the time.
Yeah, and he came down pretty well from breathing.
Yeah, he's
Pretty
getting over it
fast.
fast, and that was a lot of canter work.
Yeah, he was breathing hard, but he's okay.
No, it's
now.
coming down fast.
Yeah.
But, the main thing is keeping him clipped,
Yes.
because then he never has to deal with his body overheating, which is
Yes.
also bad for the feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one little mistake he made, he didn't pick his toe up, but that's why I went to
Okay.
the leg yielding.
But you
'cause
know,
leg
I do
yielding
that, I
gets
trip
it-
over my toes.
I do too, and I yell at my feet.
That's what I do.
Goddamn feet.
And so, you know what, we got the same problem, me and him.
Yep.
Should she keep the heavy pad on or just the light
Let's
pad?
put this saddle on first without,
Okay.
and see how it fits.
Okay, yeah, and I'll turn him
Look
to
at
the
that pad
side.
in there.
What is
Looks like a
this,
really
Kathy,
good
that
pad.
we got?
Okay.
Thin line
Oh, yeah.
comfort?
And then the back on track liner is
Yeah,
what she's
yeah.
got.
Yeah, that's
for
what
her
I like
eyes.
back on track everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. You have
for my-
tights on, just say? I've got
God.
tights, I wear tights.
Oh, I long johns, I love them.
Yeah, me too,
Oh,
I wear
yeah.
them all the time. They help my knees.
And my scarf is, and the only thing we don't have is a back on track blanket, because we sleep on a Niken, the magnetic mattress.
Oh,
Something
yeah.
they gave
Oh,
us.
okay.
And we all other places, like we were just away from home for 7 nights. Got home, we were about crippled, couldn't wait to get home bed. We were sleeping on this sleep number bed that I think had rocks in it. It was terrible. I'm so spoiled by my magnetic mattress with 4 inches of memory foam on it.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
You get up in the morning, oh, that's not bad, buddy.
Now Smokey he was a big horse,
Oh, he was tall, he wasn't
or
wide.
tall, yeah,
But, you have to be careful, and I think it's all right. The one place we don't wanna press on him is here,
yes.
because we don't wanna limit the
The
motion there.
shoulder motion.
Right. But
Okay.
I think that would be
You
okay.
think so?
Yeah, and you
Okay.
might want this is just, I mean, it doesn't even rock, it just kinda sits on him.
It does.
Yeah, you might want the, just the right back on track. I don't think you want the thin line,
Oh,
'cause it fits so
Just the
nicely.
back on
Okay.
track liner.
But this,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
gonna
the
even
back
just
on
put that-
track,
yeah.
just to keep,
You wanna try that?
Keep-
Marcy can lift the saddle
Sure.
for you.
yeah.
I think it seems better for an English saddle, yeah.
yeah, I think it's good to have a layer,
Yes.
but we don't want a thick one.
Right. With,
There you go,
with
and we
this.
just shove it back.
Okay.
See,
So
put it back, Marcy, put it back where you had it up here, the saddle for a minute.
Yeah, yeah, let
So
me
that's where the
just
saddle is. Now put it back on him, put kind of where you had it up forward. Okay, now watch. See it settle?
Oh, yeah.
So I pushed it
Oh,
till
back
it
into
settled.
its set, into
I
its
pushed
place.
it back until it
Got
settled.
it. Mhm.
And now his shoulder straight. So when you
Okay.
put it on, you push it back till it goes flop.
Got it, that makes sense.
And I think the back on track is a good idea because it keeps activity and warmth in the muscles. Have you
Okay.
sat in the saddle?
No,
You might
I
like it.
haven't,
But you might miss all the comforts of your armchair too. I had the weirdest thing happen, talk about flexing saddles.
yeah.
I went with my best friend the other day, looked at a little horse out in 4 hours away in New York State. Very, very cute horse. I loved everything about him. The guy has a Western dressage rider, and he had a fabulous Western dressage saddle. But she said, oh, I'm in love with the saddle. The horse was in love with the saddle. And she said, one more thing I gotta do before I leave, I gotta ride him in my own saddle. And the cowboy was a little worried, but he said, okay, put it on. He said, just walk around a while. So she's walking around, experimenting in different ways. She disappeared behind a huge load of hay. Came out on the other side doing extended walk. I've only ever seen extended walk on video. I've never seen it in the flesh. And I went, and the cowboy says, oh, you saw it too, huh? And it was a kind of nice moving little Morgan, but not a huge mover.
Yeah.
I said, what'd you do? She said, well, I opened my thighs, I sat deep and just put my heel under it. And he came out doing extended walk.
Wow.
And I'd never seen extended walk even in the side in the flesh. It was just amazing. And it's all how she sat on a different saddle. It was a little bit
Wow.
shorter.
Interesting.
It was a very short back
Yeah.
Morgan.
Yeah.
And a little shorter than this beautiful Western dressage
Wow.
saddle, which she said was heaven to sit in. And it had a different pony.
Yeah, I don't have a cinch or anything with it, she just handed me the
Yeah.
saddle.
You can find a
So
girth.
I will, yeah,
Yeah.
girth, I'll do that and, I'll play with
I-
that
I
next
think you'd
week.
have fun
But just-
riding it.
Yeah, as long as it
The other thing about it probably makes a little bit lighter load
yeah,
than your saddle.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see, again, my main focus.
And also,
from you
I'm
is-
thinking about it with your hips,
Mhm.
it's a narrower place to sit than the Western saddle.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
it won't,
mine-
'cause your western side a little bit wants to make your hip
It
do
does.
that.
It
Yeah,
does.
And,
it's a little
and this one
wider.
doesn't like to do that, so
Yeah.
it goes straight.
Yeah, true, so I might be a
So,
little
so
closer
it might
to
make you
him and
able to
my-
keep your hips closer
Right,
together,
Okay,
so you might really like it, it's a much narrower twist,
okay.
even though the western side is kind of a
Very
comfort
good.
zone.
Yeah, excellent, it was a great
What a
lesson
good
and-
boy.
Yeah,
He is a good
You
Yeah.
give us all a good time,
really
old man.
great.
good,
I always like this one,
thanks, Robin.
he's a
But,
good soul.
He's a good horse most of
And
the
even
time.
when you got him, when neither of you knew nothing, he didn't try to kill you.
No.
He ran pretty fast a couple of times.
My
wasn't
favorite
trying,
one
though, yeah.
was, what was her name, Pat, that had the black and white
Pat?
pin?
Oh, yeah.
You
Pat and
remember
Rocky.
her.
That damn thing, you know, here's where the training backfired. Because he was a little bit of a bum,
Yes,
and so she was trained, as many people are, to circle whenever he was naughty, which happened a lot because he was naturally naughty.
Yeah.
So then they got to cantering, and he would have a naughty thought, and before he did it, he'd quick circle, and off she'd come. So the training totally backfired, because he did it to himself. He'd kick Karen a little bit, and he'd start to think, oh, I could do this, or I could do that.
Yeah.
And he'd spin in a circle, he couldn't stay on. But he was doing what he'd been taught. It's amazing what he,
Interesting.
at one time,
We saw that
I went, for my first week at the stable, I ran for years. The girls had been running, didn't like me coming in, so they were trying to get me killed. So they sent me out on a 2-hour ride with a bunch of people on a horse I knew wouldn't cross water. Because I'd already told them where I was going, which had 14 water crossings. He wouldn't cross the water, so I said, well, the hell he do. Jumped down, I put my goose down vest over his head, snapped it under his head so he couldn't see the water, over the
Ah,
left.
yeah.
The 6th time I got down and held my vest up, he put his own head in it.
Ah,
And didn't wait for me to
interesting.
snap it and walk
See?
over the water.
Makes sense.
So what I taught him to do was wear a vest so nothing would scare you. When something scared me, he'd look around, he'd root at me. Give me my
Like,
vest.
where's my hideout?
So, there was no question what he learned.
Oh, that's funny.
Very good.
Those girls tried to kill me so many ways.
I can take that.
They sent me out on an unbroke 3-year-old.
Yeah, I'll take, just,
You're gonna get me
I'll
killed.
take
This
it
one?
back. Yeah, I'll take it back eventually, just consider
He
it.
probably should,
I'll get that.
have a little cooler on for a little bit till he's dry.
All right.
Not so much to make him hot, but just so he doesn't chill.
Yeah,
Because he's had a great day, he's done a wonderful job.
great. Oh, Kathy, I'll get it, I promise. Thanks, girls, but honestly, I can still carry that thing. I'm gonna do it until I can't.
If
which
you got
means
cheap help, take advantage of
I'll
it.
be drunk.
It's, no, it weighs about
Let me
30
grab your
some
cinch,
pounds.
Kathy.
Don't trip on the cinch though, Kathy.
Yeah.
Then we'll be trying to figure out how to keep you sound enough to ride.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's not easy to keep us old crates together. But
I-
you'll live longer.
I wish I knew half of what you've forgotten, or a fourth of what you've forgotten.
It's
It's
been my whole life.
amazing.
I really was never gonna be a riding instructor, but I ended up being one.
You said something
love it.
today that I think should be on a sweatshirt. You know the saying, "This isn't my first rodeo."
Yeah.
You said, "This isn't my first set of bad hips," and that made me laugh.
That's a good one, you're right.
I've
This
had a lot
isn't
of
my
bad hips,
first
I
set
tell
of
you.
bad hips.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure you can teach me, because I got bad hips. I said,
Yeah.
shut up, get on.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
tell
I
you,
try not to use
I lived with
those
my
as a
mother and her bad
cop-out.
hips.
Yeah, because that's small potatoes compared to what a lot of people have.
Oh, yeah,
And
I had one couple I spent quite a lot of time with it.
Yeah.
Valerie would go, I got a problem. And Larry said, Val, you don't got a problem. You got a pain in the ass. The kids in the cancer ward, they got a problem.
That's right.
He
Isn't
said,
that
just,
the truth?
well, no matter what your problem is, just think about how much worse it could be.
That's right.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
little kids in the cancer ward, they got
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
Even his neck looks better. You've done a good job with his beast weight. His hips show, and
Yeah, and that's
because
pretty
sometimes
much,
he was the blob.
yeah, but pretty much Jada. She gets the credit, you know.
Well,
she,
Jada knows feeding.
She does, and she's helped me. I told her what the vets have told me.
Yeah.
And let's get him, and I always refer to it as crappy hay, but let's get him the old hay,
Old
the
hay.
sugar's broken down,
Some-
half
someone,
hay, half
someone just
alfalfa.
gave us 100 of last year's first cutting. 100 bales of last year's first cutting. People would kill for this. He
Yeah.
can have a tiny bit of alfalfa, right?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
does. It's
yeah.
half and half kind of
Yeah.
what she gives him.
Yep.
And then
Well,
I
his
just
weight
give
is
him
beautiful.
Cushing's pill, and that's about it. Yeah.
Well,
and
try. He might like celery.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring
That
that
is
in.
interesting.
I'll
It's
let you
absolutely
know.
no nutrition.